Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Workplace Shift powered by TwoStep. Today's episode is titled Don't Panic, the skills that still matter in an AI-first world. Now, if you've been feeling a mix of curiosity, excitement, and low-key panic about AI, you're not alone. The headlines are full of it. AI-first companies, job cuts, automation, performance reviews tied to prompt usage. And the big fear, everyone and everything I know is being replaced. I studied for this, I built a career. Now what? Well, breathe. This episode is not about fear, it's about clarity and maybe some hope. Enjoy.
Welcome everyone to a new episode of The Workplace Shift. Today we are talking about a very hot topic, which is AI first. AI first, what does it even mean? I read about it a lot in the news, about a lot of CEOs talking about, no, we want to be an AI first company and we have our AI strategy here. What does that even mean, Stefan?
Yeah, it starts to get a little bit annoying, right?
It does.
So when you open LinkedIn or any news, you can see a lot of examples of CEOs pulling the trigger. That's also why we called the episode AI First. I just read it from Duolingo. He said, we will gradually stop using contractors to do the work that AI can handle, right? And so he sent out the email to all duos, like he called them. He says, oh, we will not replace you, but we will automate everything we can, which kind of makes sense. But it also leaves the people at a point where they're like, okay, what does that mean for me? How do I develop myself so I can basically work with AI?
Yeah, is there even a place for me anymore in this new world when a robot can do everything?
Yeah, exactly. And people have a little bit of a fear that whatever they learned during their studies or what skills and capabilities they build, it will be for nothing or they will not be able to use it. But even like in this email, the CEO said, we're not going to replace you, but AI will be a part that we look for in hiring. It will be part in the performance reviews, right? And even he said, we only give you headcount if you can automate more of your work and if you can prove me that AI cannot do it. I think it's a little bit over the top, but maybe that's what a CEO needs to do to invest it, to inject a little bit of urgency. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is there an urgency now? If I don't start with AI now, then I'm behind the market and I'm left behind.
Yeah.
Is this real?
I think it's real. I think it's not a reason to panic, and I think it's not our kind of philosophy that we panic, but we need to really check. It's a new technology which is now kind of in place. There will be new things, new flavors of it coming. But if you think of Duolingo, what did they do? They you open your phone and you start to learn with Duolingo, right? And you get like some cards, etc. pp. You can do this with ChatGPT now. And it's basically a competitor product, but not even this, also their internal processes, they need to be closer with delivering value. What is differentiating myself, right? Even if you're not an app company, how can I use AI technologies to make myself a little bit more effective, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I personally love AI in helping me with all sorts of stuff, whether
Yeah,
that's printing a recipe from a page that has no printable view of it, or helping me with the mail that I just wrote, checking it for grammar and spelling.
yeah,
I love to play with it.
yeah.
But what does it really mean for the workplace of the future?
Yeah, we get to this today. I guess what you also see is some of the tech CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg. He said in 12 to 18 months, most code will be done by AI. Right.
Wow.
So not this, oh, this will be an autocomplete, but it's most likely like, hey, I have an AI agent. It's like my junior programmer or maybe even a senior programmer. And I, as a programmer, I just go in and check, maybe extend. It's also a little bit of a vision, right? I mean, Mark Zuckerberg also said there will be a metaverse. People spend like $30 billion. And well, where's the metaverse? I mean, we have the glasses, etc. pp. Maybe it's coming at some point, right? We're not far away from it, but let's reality check it. And that's what I want to do with you today, right? To give our audience a little bit of kind of points to handle through and say, how can I prepare myself for the AI world without becoming a developer or a data scientist?
And what I'm hearing is that it's not about robots taking away my job or AI taking away my job, but basically people enhancing what they can do with AI
Yeah.
and being ready for that and forming like a partnership with artificial intelligence.
Exactly. So the way to see it is a couple of years ago, I saw this as it's a fictional memo, but someone could say, be aware, the internet is going to replace the writer, the typewriter. You will not be able to use the typewriter anymore, right? So basically, we have a technology change. We work with the code. We work with AI as a code, as a partner, as a teammate, so to speak. And it will eventually, some jobs will be replaced, or they will evolve at some point. But it's maybe things we don't want to do in the first place anyway, like checking, like like the boring, it's kind of the boring
Writing
tasks.
minutes, for example.
Writing minutes, exactly. So this is what sometimes is called as everyday AI. So this is what you already experience, right? You have Gemini to take meeting notes. Maybe sometime they will generate the presentation for you, or they will write your blog post, etc. Yeah.
So, what is staying as it is currently? What do I not have to worry about?
As we see in companies, the change we really do, as long as we don't have a 100% AI company, right? Is we have to have the human connection. We have to have empathy. We have to work with humans. Our customers at this point are still humans, right? So emotional intelligence, emotional empathy will be something which will stay, right? So this is the character skills you can still build. And even if you then, let's say AI will be fully implemented, I don't think it will be replacing every human being. Maybe we can focus more on creativity, our human connection. The room, it should open the room, right? It should open the room for creativity.
Ooh, nice. So, like a creativity superpower for us.
Yeah, let's look at, for example, some of our clients in the life science industry, right? So they're doing clinical trials. They try to test a drug so it gets closer to the market. So it's about speed to market. So if you use AI or AI agents to prepare the data, prepare the report for the authorities, maybe run through some models as well based on historical data, and you as a scientist, you just have to look and say, oh yeah, that's interesting results. What else do I need to test? And the curiosity aspect of humans is still there, right? We still want to challenge what's there. Well, hopefully. So we say, okay, we have an output here generated by AI, ChatGPT, and the like. But okay, let's challenge the status quo.
Yeah,
Does that
that's
make sense?
so. How can I prepare for this new AI world? What do I need to do?
Yeah, so I I had to laugh when you said, like, to me also in the discussion before that, you felt a little bit of panic, but you're a person, I know from you, right, that you don't panic quickly. So you think about yourself and you think about the strengths you have, right? So when I first heard about the AI wave, I thought like, oh, I have to learn everything about data. I have to become a data scientist. I have to learn the technology. And for some part, it's true. You have to learn a little bit about the technology, but I think it's better to find a new role in the AI framework. That's why I created these 4 archetypes, which you can identify yourself with and which you can use also in discussion with your management or with your leadership to say, hey, I want to evolve into this role regarding to AI. What should I do?
What are these archetypes?
Yeah, what are these archetypes? I mean, this is the real question. So this is maybe it's not something new for some of our listeners, but it's something kind of based on the experience. And sometimes we have this also in consulting companies when you see these roles. But the first role is the visionary leader and the strategist, right? So he does leadership. That doesn't change when AI is there. They have a vision. They set direction, and I see it like an airplane pilot, right? If AI flies the plane, you still need to see where are we going, what is the direction, right? But you need to correct course at some point as well if there's some turbulences, etc. pp. So the leader, they stay, but they're equipped with the language. They can work with the AI teammates, and they basically break down what is the business model, what is the strategy, and they basically distribute it to the team. So that's the vision and the leader. Challenge me about it.
Sorry?
Challenge me about it. Do you think that's true? Do you think there's a difference to what it is now?
It doesn't sound really different, actually.
Right?
So, it's just like now we have like consultants preparing for us the strategy deck, and then the visionary leaders promoting it throughout the company.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. The secondary role is the architect or the system architect or the complexity manager. So think about it like this. When we introduce AI, we basically get a powerful tool to look at our problems and data, etc. pp. But if we don't understand the problems and the systems behind it, we basically make it worse because we create more chaos with AI, right? So what we're doing is we still need this not digital architect, but someone who understands the company, someone who understands the system, the complexity behind it. Sometimes it's called the domain knowledge, right? But someone who really understands what is the business need, the client's need, etc. pp, right? And who also can manage this complexity and can feed it to the AI agents, can feed it to the development team, right? Because otherwise you're solving stuff which does not need to be solved. So it's the system architect, it's the second role, right?
So what skill set is behind this system architect role? Is it more like a data scientist, or
No, I
what
think
is
the data scientist comes later. It's more like a business architect, business analyst, someone who's naturally interested in understanding systems, in system design, etc. pp. Organizational design is part of this too, right? So anticipating also as part, like the visionary tells me, here's my strategy, here's my vision, and then the system strategist goes like, okay, this is my company, this is my partnerships, this is the market I'm working with. How can I connect this? How can I get insights here, and generate value here? So it's nothing technical too, right? So you can even abstract it to different industries. I just recently talked to a friend. She's building cities, right? So she's working for the government and she builds cities. So I guess she's a system architect in a way, because at some point she will see the overall landscape, how the city should be built. And then maybe AI will at some point crawl through all the regulations. And then there will be a model building kind of how the city could look like and checking it against regulations. That has to be done somehow manually at this point in time, but somehow still needs to have the oversight if we want to have control, right?
Yeah.
So this is the architect level. They don't have to understand how AI works. They just have to understand what the capabilities are.
So
Like
they are
technically.
using basically AI to enrich their vision.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And the third role is more what you say, the technical role, the engineer, the AI enhanced practitioner, right? So depending on the use case, there's someone who builds basically the AI and the usage, and there's someone who's understanding the data. It's a data scientist, right? So, and quite naturally, if you look at the roles in the company you have now, they will maybe have already this affinity to some of this skill set. For example, if you work, let's stick with the life science example. If you have someone who is a scientist who works to develop new drugs, they will maybe have already some education around how to use data, statistics, etc. Right? So they will fill this role. That doesn't mean they need to go into creating Python scripts and training the models. They will just talk to the AI enhanced practitioner or the engineer to do that, right? So maybe these two roles, like a developer and the data scientist, might merge. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So they are doing the hard work.
They're really at the base there.
They're at the base. So these are the ones you talk to if you don't want to get into technical detail. You need to surround yourself at least with one engineer to tell you, oh, the data is wrong. We need some infrastructure stuff here as well, right?
Okay. So what's stage 4?
Stage 4, the fourth archetype, is basically the AI orchestrator. Yeah. So if we think of this topic that we have an AI agent, and it's basically a team manager, a team lead, a scrum master, a project manager, right? So you have a project, you have maybe a service you want to build, and at the moment you have 5 human beings, Maybe later you have 3 human beings and 2 AIs. So you will know what this machine learning model, this AI model built can do for you, or you need to extend it. Maybe you need to talk to your system architect to look at what is in the roadmap, what needs to be changed on the whole system, or to your engineer to make changes. But you will orchestrate team members, right? So they
Will they get a
also
salary as well?
say again.
Will they get a salary as well? My
Of
AI
course.
teammates.
You mean the AI agents?
The AI teammates, yes.
I think they do at the moment too, right? Because if you hire contractors, if you run a AI platform, you should be aware of the license costs of the AI. So you could basically build a model, finance model, to say we have 2 AI agents running for us. They use tokens, right? Here's your budget as a team lead. It's a good point actually. It's a budget as a team lead. You need to employ 2 AI models. I'm abstracting, right? And they need to be paid. So are you paying for them? So yeah, I think they will get a salary in terms of they will be paid by the company.
Interesting.
Right? So if you look at all this, it's to say, let's step away from the panic a little bit. There will be roles for us. And a critic might say, these are not different roles than we have now. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's just an abstraction. Maybe it's understanding AI more technically, but also what their capabilities are. But it's like driving a car. You don't know maybe necessarily how the motor is working, but you know which switch you have to check, right?
It all feels a bit familiar to me
Mhm.
years ago when we were talking about digitalization and
Yeah.
IoT,
Yes.
and when we talked about fridges that will show you what is missing and what you have to put on your grocery shopping list.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came true, and other stuff was like too much hype.
Yeah.
And it feels for me like we are still at the very beginning of this hype cycle of AI.
Yes.
And there's a lot of potential, a lot of future scenarios, and of course, not all of them will come through.
No, of course not. Some people say AI is here to stick, and I think it will be sticking. The question is how. You can already see this if you open Google and if you enter a question, they will give you an AI summary, right? And I recently noticed this a couple of days ago that if I research something, I get sometimes content from 2014 or something, right? So the Google search has a lot of history, but it also doesn't always give me the relevant access, right? Why am I saying this? Because I feel that ChatGPT and the likes will replace the Google search. So the technology has, as you say, like a little bit of a depreciation curve, right? So we will maybe not use Google search as it is, but also some of this doesn't come through, like the IoT, the vision of the fridge, right? Some people may use it, but it's not practically applicable. But some of this is practically applicable for all of us, right?
It is, yeah. And I think we've seen it ourselves in our company, where AI basically replaced a graphic designer because we were more capable to tell the AI what we want and how it should look like in the end. And the AI understood us better than the human, which was
Yeah.
astonishing to me, actually.
And I feel it's like if you look at the classical projects we did, is we staffed this with roles. You have a business analyst, you have a tester, etc. pp. So if you're a founder or a leader or a team lead, you should think about, if you run a new project, what can we do with an AI agent in the future? It's a vision, huh? You're a visionary in that case. You're in the visionary archetype. So, for example, testing still needs to be done. Business analysis still needs to be done, but testing maybe can be automated more, and AI agents, or in that case, robotic process automation, can run and can help us here. So we really have to step back as a leadership team and look at the initiatives and projects we have and see vision, how can they help us? And then we start to remain competitive, right? We start to be more competitive, not remain. And maybe we remain competitive depending on where we are.
So for the people that want to know more about these archetypes, where can they find more?
So I think we will put some link to the PDF in the show notes. And so you can look at, first of all, what the archetype is. Maybe we'll develop a little quiz around it. Not sure yet, but just try to go into the archetype theme. Maybe bring it up with your team. Talk about it. Where do you see yourself? And it's a little bit like the Belbin team roles, right? Do we maybe need someone in an engineer role in our team? Right? Do we need to build a skill set? Is someone interested in doing that? Or do we need to hire someone, right? So it also influences hiring a little bit.
Would you recommend to have one person for each of the archetypes, or do you need more people for type 3, for example? What's your feeling?
It's a little bit like when you look at the development teams we have and the company teams we have now, right? Too many cooks, etc. But I guess we need more doers. We need more people who can actually engineer with the AI, data scientists, etc. We will maybe talk about this in another episode, but data is the foundation for everything. And just that from a maturity level, we're not there yet. So maybe it's based on the maturity of the company, we need more builders and system architects. And later it will be more visionary and strategists. So maybe it moves around the maturity curve of the company too.
Interesting thought, yeah.
Right?
Is there
maybe
anything
even
else that we haven't touched that you want to say around this topic?
around the archetypes, maybe not, no. I mean, we have a topic around high agency and high adaptability. I don't know if you want to squeeze it in today. We could.
Would it make sense?
Maybe we give it a whole episode, right?
Yeah,
because
it sounds like really deep topics. Yeah,
it's a deep topic. So maybe let's close this episode for today. And a call of action would be for our audience to look at the archetypes and where do they see themselves. Maybe they have two roles. Maybe they have a vision on the system strategy role, a system architect role. And let us know in the comments if you think we're missing someone, or if you can relate to this.
So what I'm hearing is actually no time to panic about AI, but there is the time to act on it.
Yes.
And see how you can integrate it into your organizational design, how you can implement it within your teams, and also into your career paths. So how can each person implement it within their career, where they want to go, which skills they need to build?
Yeah, and it's step one. Yeah, so it's just the first step. Maybe there needs to be career. There certainly are already in the companies AI literacy trainings, but I feel they're very focused on the builder role. Like, we need to understand data literacy, etc. Yeah, it's true, but we also need the other three archetypes to thrive, right? So we need to really build the curriculum, the training curriculum around this too. We need to build the personal growth paths, etc. So let's not just focus on the technology. Let's focus on the system.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us, Stefan.
It's just ideas. Thank you so much, Karen, and let's talk soon.
Let's talk soon, and thanks everyone for listening in on our new episode of The Workplace Shift.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Here's the bottom line. This is not the end of human work. It's the beginning of a new way to work. So stay adaptable, be someone with agency, lead with empathy and clarity, and ask yourself, which of the 4 archetypes am I becoming? Thanks for listening to The Workplace Shift. If this is helpful, shift your mindset and share it. And let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much.